Come friend, now lend me an ear, for a tale of Victor the Weird. He went on an adventure with he, him, and himself, and also his mighty fine beard. Now gather round, I'll tell you about this mighty beast. He may look as human, as mere as you, friend, but soon your eyes will feast upon this marvelous creature with many body parts. His one shirt may fool you, but what if I told you his chest had 4 red hearts? One mouth but 1,000 voices, one mind and limited choices. 2 handsome dice, 2 handsome dice. The audience rejoices. He's going to play D&D with him, himself, and he. Those are his pronouns, it's really profound. It's time for D&Me, featuring Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor, and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor and Victor. One knows who knows how many repeats. So come and sit down in an empty seat. It's time for D&Me. 2 eyes, 4 cheeks, 2 souls on his feet, 2 hands for winning and foes to defeat, 1 tongue, 2 lips through which to speak, but just one but.
Hey everybody, I'm Victor Rivera, and welcome to D&Me, where I play with myself. I play D&D with myself, and welcome to episode 29 of D&Me. It is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for being here. The theme song is produced and performed by Bradley Owens. You can find them on Instagram at Bradley Owens. And hello and welcome. Good evening. Thank you so much for Scorpion Supreme, to one of my new Twitch followers. I appreciate that. And speaking of just numbers and stuff, we broke 1,000 views on YouTube. We have 1,001 right now. So thank you very much. This past Monday, I did a D&Mommy where my mother came on the show, and we talked about D&D and what she thinks of D&Me, and it was awesome, and it is a really popular video now. It's one of my most viewed on YouTube and stuff, shared all over the interweb, so thank you very much for that. And then Tuesday we had a Dean Artistry. That's where you saw the pre-show placard that we're working on, and I want to do a day soon of just like more hours of it, because there's so much art I want to do and I want to share it with y'all. So yeah, so thank you very much for all that. Thank you also for being patient and waiting for this rare D&Me not on a Wednesday, because yesterday I did my 3rd day of 3 for a motion capture job where I did acting for motion capture and performance capture. So they had like a face rig, they had a helmet and an iPhone capturing my face, and then gloves, and then I wore the whole tight suit and everything. I can't give out too much details, but it's for like a VR thing, and you get a lot of different options for a lot of different responses. And they showed up with a tablet of the first 2 days' work that we did. And I can say that from my face and from my voice, what they capture with motion and performance capture, I clicked on a lot of the buttons, and then I could hear myself and see like my body move on a completely animated character, and that was awesome. And then as I was doing it, I was like, I'm playing with myself. So that is one of my new just universal alignments, is me playing with myself. Da, 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 da. So thank you very much for that. That's all cool. I wanted to share that with y'all. Before I get into a lot of really good stuff, I do want to say also that with Yagra, my half-orc bodyguard, with her being Tiffany, who turns out to be a Goliath fighter doppelganger bodyguard, this is the first time in pretty much the whole show that I had a Dean revision that turned out to be canon, because I had a Dean revision many episodes ago that I was like, oh, well, Yagra's a half-orc, so when she got knocked down to get up again, she'll never knock me down. She technically has relentless endurance, which as soon as she drops to 0 hit points, then she like springs back up with 1. She doesn't because she's technically not a half-orc. She's a Goliath fighter. So I was like, holy cow, that's really cool. That's probably the only time it's ever going to happen. But hey, who knows? I'm clever. I can make stuff happen. Let's see. So now, I don't have any D&D revisions. I don't have any D&D retcon. I don't have any D&D research after the fact. But I have some unboxing. This last week, a lot of people have been very generous. So normally I roll to see who opens stuff, but I have a little plan. So I want Onyx to open the first thing. I want Rock to open the next two, and then we will roll for the third one. But Onyx, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, well, go ahead. It's right there.
Okay. Victor, do you want to give the...
Yep, I forgot. My new roommate Jen, she moved in the past couple weeks, and then she gave me like a nice little apartment warming gift. So that's the precursor. You can go ahead.
Okay. So it's a little bag with stuff. Okay.
Read it out loud, buddy.
www.dnddice.com. Okay.
You know you can read it.
Fine. And then she got us this nice little bag that's the orange. Okay. What's this?
Show it to the camera. Describe it.
So they're dice, but they got like skulls on and bones on them. Look at them. They got it's got little skulls on it. It's got little skulls on it. Rock can read the papers or something. Whoa. It's got little skulls on it. Look at that. Look at the skulls.
Okay. Okay, Onyx, thank you.
Well, I'm just gonna stare at these. Hold it. Rock can read the paper though.
Thank you very much, Onyx. Yes, Jen got us like really cool Parisian, you know, in the catacombs underneath big cities and stuff, and they have like those skull walls. Well, Jen got us those, so I thought they were perfect for Onyx. We're gonna use them tonight. And then an awesome little orange dice bag, which is my favorite color, hence the whole orange. So yes, totally perfect for Onyx. Hello, Angelito El Guapo. So there we go.
No, please put it back.
All right, we'll have that on there for a little bit. So, Rock, are you ready? Yes. Hello, I am Rock, the half-orc wizard. That's me right there. It came with a bag, www.dnddice.com, as N as in gnome, and then I want to go through those papers.
All right, well, I'm just gonna look at these.
So, ooh, Real Gamers Roll Dice. So this is D&D dice, and that's a little. It's printed on. It's the order form, but it's printed on the back of like this custom character sheet. That's amazing. Dice Macabre 7 dice set, Necromancer's Halloween and Skull set. Amazing. So thank you very much, D&D Dice. We have this one right here.
This is awesome.
And then a couple other things. Of course, for every character sheet, you need a pencil. DnDdice.com. Real Gamers Roll Dice. Yes, I agree. There are extensions for Twitch where it rolls the dice, but it doesn't have the tactile satisfaction. Ooh, like a ninja star sticker. And then a couple note cards, business cards. So yes, I will tag you and stuff. If you heart your dice, please follow and tag us in your social media pics. D&D Dice. Thank you. Questions and comments, emails at sales@D&D-Dice. Fabulous. I will put these all away. As much fun as unboxing, putting things back is equally as exciting. Rock, this is... Nope, I'm Rock. Onyx, this is a little distracting. Could we please...
Oh, fine. I'm just gonna stare at him, though. Over there.
Ooh, and then put the pencil back. And then... So we will do that afterwards. Okay, and now we have two other, well, we have three packages, but I'm allowed to open the next two. Yay! This one. Oh, it has a green bag, so that's why you can't see it right now. But this is from your mother, Victor. Yes, my mom got this at a nerd bar here that is also a comic book store and lots of pinball machines. So that's awesome. It's called My Parents' Basement, which I think is very appropriate. Yes, that is quite clever. Here we go. Oh, I met her for D&Mommy. Yes, he did. She a delightful woman. Thank you very much. You can keep opening it. Okay, here we go. Ooh. Nope. Ooh. Like, Dispelling Invisibility. This is Sword Coast Adventures Guide. Explore the Sword Coast in this campaign sourcebook for the world's greatest role-playing game. Welcome to the Sword Coast, a region of the Forgotten Realms. The Sword Coast comprises shining paragons of civilization. Perilous? Perilous locales fraught with evil and encompassing them all, a wilderness that offers an explorer both vast opportunity and great danger. Thank you very much, Victor's mother. The Sword Coast of Faerun. Oh, well, I love books, of course, so yes. Can I read that, Victor? Rock, you can read all of the books on our shelves, because Victor doesn't have time to. So, Rock, if you could do it like in Doctor Strange, where it's like astral projection, if you can read all those books and then I could absorb the information through osmosis, that would be really great for me. So I appreciate that. Thank you very much. You're welcome. And next, the second of the... Oh, Dodio something in the chat says, you are most welcome. Well, thank you very much, Rock. I said thank you very much, Rock, which is not how that do. Then this one... use my... I have 0 strength. So, oh well, it's not that bad. Oh my goodness, it's very loud though. I'm just going to put this gently down right there. That has Victor's address on it. Nope. So, this is another book. This is Acquisitions Incorporated. You can't see the middle section, but it's Green Flame. Green Flame. Explore a wealth of peril and personalities for the world's greatest role-playing game, a D&D product created in partnership with Penny Arcade, Inc. Ooh. This is Victor's first introduction into D&D. So, help wanted. The Forgotten Realms are full of powerful factions vying for control, and for a time each has had the upper hand. The Harpers... for our knowledge, well, I don't think Tutut has shared it, but Durnan is a Harper. Augo seems to be a Harper. Bonnie, we are all helping with him. The Xantirum, ooh, bad. The Lord's Alliance, the Order of the Gauntlet, the Emerald Enclave, that is Spanish Mustache. I might be forgetting one or two. There's a bunch of these things. Oh, this is funny. I'm going to read the whole back. If none of those organizations can help you, consider Acquisitions Incorporated. Call Faerun's definitive adventuring brand by, well, the company itself. They've been in operation for more than a decade, and it's been mostly fine for them. I should emphasize that it's been fine for them specifically. It's not always fine for the people who hire them, and it's definitely not fine for the people they're hired to rob. Truth is, though, when you're just starting out in the adventuring business, it might be nice to have a leg up. It can be a big help to have access to powerful artifacts, expertise, and jobs that Acquisitions Incorporated has to offer a new franchise. Plus, there are always openings available. Just try not to think about why. Oh, that is very funny. Yes, thank you. Penny Arcade. Whee! 2 big books right here. Thank you. Now we are going to roll, correct? Yes, we're going to roll now. So thank you very much, Rock. Thank you, Onyx.
You're welcome.
So, opening this bad boy. Ooh, it's a biggin. We're going to roll for it using, I was going to say our, but it's more like Onyx's. New bone dice. Skull set. So, as always, Tipsy's 1, Onyx is 2, Rock is 3, Toot Toot is 4. That is 2! Onyx!
Yes! Victor.
Did you put that on my desk?
Yeah. All right. The bones got me hyped up.
Well, please put that safely away. Don't throw it.
This has Victor's address on it, too. Do y'all want to see it?
No.
Okay. Dungeons and Dragons Heroes Feast, the official D&D cookbook. Everyone knows how dangerous it is to adventure on an empty stomach. Yeah, Victor.
I don't like eating before a show.
You're telling me I'm so hungry. So put away the chips and crack open Heroes Feast. Make your next game night a truly immersive experience with everything from Sword Coast seafood, rock.
That looks like it says Bolilabase? Toot toot. I have no idea. Okay, everyone listening. Boulilabase. None of us here on D&Me know how to pronounce that. I do. Tipsy, do you know how to pronounce it? Nah. Bouillabaisse? I'm gonna guess bouillabaisse. All right, continue, Onyx. You're doing great.
To drown mushroom steaks to that old dwarven favorite, corned beef and cabbage. Oh, I love corned beef and cabbage. This gorgeous book will lead to many stunning meals for your friends and family. D.B. Weiss, co-creator of Game of Thrones. Oh, bouillabaisse. Well, that's not fucking spelled. Spell it Booyabasse. It's fucking how you spell. And then, no great adventure is complete without a hero's feast. Had a long day at work slaying dragons and hexing kobolds. Bet you're worked up, quite an appetite, smiting trolls. We did that. And dungeon delving, haven't you? Yeah? Well, ready a tall tankard of mead, yeah? And embrace yourself for a culinary journey to match any quest. Tom Morello, Rage Against the Machine. I'm good at rage. Can I take off this sticker?
Yeah, go ahead, Onyx.
So instead of the episode, can we just make one of these?
No, we're gonna do the episode. We have stuff to do.
Okay. It's a sticker.
All right. Well, don't get mad at it. Onyx, this is horrible streaming. Can you do it later?
Huh? right. It's a book about food. Then there's more. Okay. It's a lot of paper with your address on it. Oh, no. Don't look. Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. Join the Guilds of Ravnica in this campaign source book for the world's greatest role-playing game. Stand with your guild. We don't have a guild yet. The world's most popular role-playing game meets the world's most popular trading card game in this campaign sourcebook, detailing the Magic the Gathering world of Ravnica for use in Dungeons and Dragons. Okay.
Onyx, can you look excited at all?
Alright. And then here's the same thing, but like maps and miscellany. Stand with your guild. It says the same thing. No, it doesn't. This accessory contains resources that dungeon masters can use to enhance the experience of running a campaign in the sprawling city of Ravnica using Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, separately sold Dungeons and Dragons campaign sourcebook. I like the bones back.
Okay, well, Onyx, here, you can throw the box, though.
Fuck yeah.
And thank you very much. That took a while. But it's always entertaining to watch them open stuff. So we got a lot of good books. We're almost done collecting all of the Dungeons and Dragons books. That's bonkers. So, yay, thank you, everybody. All right. So, that's it. Let's get into the episode, shall we? Anything else before we start? Nope. All right, let's get it. So, D&M recap, episode 28, Diamond and Silver.
That was from Heroes Feast.
Thank you, Onyx, for interrupting my recap.
You're welcome.
Episode 28, Diamond and Silver, we enter back into the scene of Yagra Stonefist, the half-orc bodyguard that we encountered earlier, and we kind of beat the shit out of in the hallway and then dragged her out into an alley and then picked her pockets, and then we find out instead that she is Tiffany, the Goliath fighter, who is the bodyguard / protector of Bonnie, the doppelganger princess. And when she comes to, then Rock retrieves Bonnie, brings her out into the alley, and then we have kind of how they came into the city and how they got separated. So with that new ally, then my boys, with Onyx falling head over heels, I don't know how Onyx romantically do, but with a ring of sexual magnetism. So there we go. They Tipsy leads them into the dock ward to see the wererats again, and en route down there, then Remy, the half-orc, the wererat brother, emerges from the shadows and then confronts Tipsy and the party wearing silver mantles, and through a unexpected alley fight, then cornering Remy, then he kind of breaks down, and then there was a nice little bonding moment between him and Tipsy, and then Remy took them back to the wererat hideout, and Toot Toot and Tipsy both rolled very well, and then they could hear some voices inside, but then when Cleo came to open the door, then there was only the wererats, and that's where we resume. So then Cleo opens the door, and as we see that there's no one inside except for Algernon sleeping on some hay and stuff. And then Remy and Cleo share a meaningful, significant look. And Tipsy and Toot Toot, who did hear, decide not to say anything. They're going to play their cards and see what happens next. So Cleo looks at Remy and then looks up at the 4 party, including Onyx, who she hasn't seen before, but she met Rock and Toot Toot before, and then she stares at Tipsy, who is right behind Remy, and she goes, no, do not let him enter. No. Remy, come inside. And then Remy, who's kind of exhausted. All my boys are exhausted because of numerous unexpected fights. But then Remy goes, no, I understand, but he is sincerely here to help us. So, no. He has brought hurt to our house, and no, we do not need him. And then Remy steps forward. No, seriously, he is a good one, so trust me on this. And then Cleo takes a sharp breath, and then she steps back, and then Remy comes into the place, and then Tipsy kind of looking into Cleo's face, and then met with just this stone facade. Then he kind of averts his gaze down and then travels down the stairs following Remy. And then Onyx walks past, staring very solidly at Cleo, and there's like this kind of silent exchange of very severe eye contact. And Onyx notes that this halfling, along with Remy, like, both are kind of serious and mean business. So Onyx notes that, then goes down, and then Rock kind of comes in and like bows like halfway. Hello, it's good to see you again. And yeah, okay. So in the last episode, he said it was nice to see you to Remy, I think. When he came out of the alley, I think that's right. And then Toot Toot, kind of ducking because he's in this halfling hostel. He ducks and then goes, hello again, Cleo. It is lovely to see you. Toot Toot. Excuse me. And then he makes his way past, and then all 4 boys are walking down the stairs into like this barren kind of storage / basement area that the wererats live in. And along the back wall is this like kind of scar in the wall that Tipsy and Rock originally crawled through in order to get into the wererat room from the sewers. And then we hear Cleo close the door and lock it, and then kind of everyone's quietly filing in to not disturb the sleeping Algernon. And Cleo then joins everyone else going, it is okay. Thankfully, Papa is a deep sleeper, so we can talk. What do you want? She says over to Tipsy, and Tipsy, here's another big, Remy, can you help me? And then Remy grabs a strap of the big bag and, here's some more food if you want it. It's presumptuous of me to think that y'all need food, but it's been a couple days since I was here because I was reading a book, but I wanted also to give you some time because last time I kind of fucked up really badly. Yes, you did. But I wanted to show you that I mean well. I promise. And then Remy, after kind of dragging the bag halfway into the room between, like, it's kind of the mediator, where Cleo's on one side with Algernon, and then my boys are on the other, and so Remy drags the big sack of food from the awning portal in between, and Remy looks up to Cleo. We had an altercation in an alleyway, And then Cleo, no, it's, and we, like men do, we beat each other up a little bit. He looks back at Tipsy, like friendly, and then looks back at Cleo. But he does mean well. This one, the new one, he points over at Onyx. He even told me that for the silver, different silver, believe it or not, he points at Tipsy, has been dealing in some silver apparently without knowing the repercussions. But with different silver, Tipsy refused a silver cloak, silver garb that the other three were wearing. So, if that means anything. And then Remy bends down and starts opening the pack and kind of taking inventory of the food inside. And then Cleo's solid eye contact at Tipsy, and Tipsy feels super nervous, but it's a game of like, do I keep looking or do I look away? Do I break eye contact or does that show weakness? Or is this really creepy of me just staring? He says all in his head. he says like he kind of muffles out loud what he's saying in his head. Is that a lot of cars? Boy howdy, the day like a whole train of like 10 loud cars happens, then I don't know what's gonna happen to Victor inside emotionally. But then Tipsy, here's Waddles. He pulls out Waddles from his pocket, and Waddles again is the plump gray rat with a nice white and red striped scarf, and then he just holds him out. And then Waddles is he's asleep, kind of like Algernon, curled up in Tipsy's hand, and then he sees Cleo and brightens up, and then he kind of scoots to, oh jeez, whenever I yawn as Waddles, I always yawn as Victor. That just shows how empathetic I am. So then Waddles kind of like on a diving board scoots to the edge of Tipsy's hand and is like reaching for Cleo. And he's precarious, but Tipsy's managing to like counterbalance his weight. And again, Waddles is a plump rat, so there's a lot of weight there, and Tipsy's well, hold on. And then Cleo like gestures with her hand to like put the hand on the ground, and Tipsy, oh well, yeah, I didn't want him to fall, even though it's not 2'10" because that's the top of my, I'm just putting the rat on there. And so then Waddles touches the cold stone floor and then scurries over to Cleo, who with more warmth than any of my boys, she scoops him up, and then he kind of just like buries himself, like does a just scratching like a dog does on a blanket before it curls up and goes to sleep, like on Cleo's hand. And then Cleo with an eighth of a chuckle, and then she turns back up. Thank you for the food. The last time it was very yummy. We still have some left over, but this means an incredible amount. So she looks up and makes sincere eye contact with Tipsy. Thank you, Tipsy. You are so welcome. It's really my pleasure. And I was as I was telling Remy, and with these guys can corroborate. You all are my only mission. So
these guys were like going off and doing a whole bunch of stuff, but I feel my calling to help you, and I hope that doesn't sound like really, really creepy, but the food, I just want to help.
And then Cleo,
How is it you squeak? I'm so sorry. What? How did you come about being able to squeak? To squeak? Yes, to speak the rat speak, which to shorten it is to squeak. Oh, well, I've always been able to do it. I'm able to speak to small beasts. Is that what it's called? Yeah, speak with small beasts. So like Waddles, he's not really talkative, but he's funny as hell. And then like other small beasts. So like I've always been able to do it. How are you doing it? Oh, because I was born a wererat, so he's innate.
and then it's kind of awkward. And then Onyx is just Onyx, but then Rock and Tutu to like just feel the stillness in the air, and it's not electricity, but it's like tense, but not like confrontational, but it's kind of and then you can hear some more like rummaging, and then Remy looks up and like dips his head in a confirmational nod, and then he starts dragging it into one of the two storage, like there are two back rooms that are pretty much mostly dark every time we're in here, so he drags it to one of them, and then he comes out and kind of stands over his father in a protective stance and is watching. Remy is very observant, so he's just watching and listening to Tipsy making a fool out of himself. And so Tipsy's,
it's good to see you.
met with no response.
So, Rock the Half-Orc Wizard here. Hello. So, Rock the Half-Orc Wizard here, he, told me something, that I think you would like to hear. It's about your dad.
And then that gets Cleo's focus. And Remy, too, kind of lifts his head interestedly.
So can you actually explain Rock? Because I don't. This is
And then Tipsy's slightly malfunctioning, and then Rock goes, yes, and then he steps forward a little bit.
Hello, I'm Rock the Half-Orc Wizard. I read in a manual, a book, a transcript, that in a collection of different creatures, ending with lycanthropy, and one of the sections, there's wereboars and weretigers and werewolves and werebears. Rock, please. But in the section that is wererats, there is annotations and transcriptions that detail that one originally bitten by a source of lycanthropy, that there is a cure.
And then it's just, you can hear a pin drop. There's the two awake wererats are listening very closely.
Yes. There is a cure for if you are bitten, and there is a possibility for a cure if you were born into it. So there are two different types. One is for your father, there is a better chance to help him. For you two, There is a chance, however, it is very heavy. So, which would you like to hear first?
And then Cleo turns her head back to Remy, and then Remy kind of gives like a third of a shrug.
Please tell us first how to cure Papa. Excellent. That is more achievable. From what Toot and Tipsy have told me, that your father was originally bitten, one of the original wererats, and that your mother, rest her soul, tried to help cure him. So any were being, any were creature can be cured, once again bitten, with a spell, a particular spell called Remove Curse, which is a relatively low level spell. However, it is a 3rd level spell, and I currently am unable to cast that big of magic. I can only do a 2nd and below. So I personally would, as soon as I get to that next stage in my life, that I would learn the spell, and then I would be happy to with your permission and consent, and with his as well, to help Algernon heal. And my suspicion is that since he has been a wererat for quite some time, that one simple application may not suffice, so I might have to do a couple castings over a significant period of time. But there is hope for your father. And then he kind of bows again and then steps back, notably behind Tipsy, and then Tipsy turns from looking at him and then over at Cleo, and then you hear a sniffle over on that side of the room, and she quickly uses the back of her wrist to wipe under her eye. Thank you very much for telling us that. We have never really had the money, so we knew that there might have been some kind of magic, but we could never afford a arcane user to practice such magics. So that is honestly amazing.
And then with that, then she starts petting Waddles, and then absent-mindedly petting Waddles, and Waddles and then Rock from behind.
I forgot one thing. A couple castings, or there may be a chance. I haven't done the full research yet, but we could imbue an amulet or a talisman or a charm with the Remove Curse spell, so that there might be multiple applications, and so there is very real hope for.
And then he gestures over at the sleeping albino wererat curled up on himself, and his hands are like these deformed paws curled in on themselves also, and his feet with the paws, and he has on a very thin vest that's pretty threadbare, and then he has Tipsy's farmer's wife's scarf curled around his neck, and you can see, even though his eyelids are closed, that they're really pink. So this albino wererat with his ears chewed and half ripped off, sleeping thankfully peacefully, and
there is hope for him. So, but I wouldn't have done the research and the necessary acquisition of knowledge without Tipsy. So, if I may.
And then he steps back, and then Tipsy again, like, looks from behind him over to Cleo and...
Yeah, so he told me that on the way down here, and I was like, wow, we should totally do that. With your permission and consent, of course. Yes.
And then Cleo.
Amazing. Rock, we have no money to help finance this endeavor, but thank you for telling us.
And then Rock from behind.
Oh, no. That might have been a miscommunication or an absence of information on my part. No, I would not accept your coinage. This as Tipsy said, this is his mission, so helping you is helping him, and he is part of the family, so...
And then he gestures open palmed at Cleo and Remy and Algernon.
That is a very generous gift as well, along with the food, thank you. We are blessed.
And then you can feel a little smile growing on Tipsy's face. And then Tipsy goes,
so that's...
Okay, all right. You're not a Loxodon bard with proficiency in horns. It's called a trunk. Or, what's the... Is there... Oh, well, you trumpet... What is the name of the pachyderm fellow in Tarzan? Tantor? I think it's Tantor. Let's look it up real quick. Because he, in one scene, like, blew his trunk as a trumpet, and that is Tantor from Tarzan. Not voiced by Whoopi Goldberg. Whoopi Goldberg played a hyena. Tantor, I was correct. Voiced by Taylor Dempsey as a calf. And this is very important, so that is why who voiced him for... And, of course, Wayne Knight as an adult. Oh, that's a very good choice. And by Jim Cummings in the 1999 video game TV series Tarzan and Jane. Lovely. I love Wayne Knight and Jim Cummings. So, there we go. That was nothing. Anyway, Whoopi Goldberg played a hyena, one of the three hyena. Sensei, in Lion King. And there's a type of monster called Gnoll, which is Gnoll, which is like a hyena folk. So, future Victor, write that down. So, Tantor. Tipsy goes, yeah, so he told me that, and then he also told me about how to save you and Remy, but it's pretty expensive and it's not easy magic. It's kind of the hardest magic in the world. It's so for Algernon, it's a level 3, right? Yes, level 3. Level 3 remove curse, and then for you, unfortunately, because you two have been born into the condition, the only way to solve that is through a wish spell, which is 9th level magic. And that is the biggest magic that there is. And Rock, you can't do that for a while, huh? Unfortunately not, I'm sorry. So, until we get really, really, really good at adventuring, it's going to take a long time. And if we find someone to do it, that'll be hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of pieces of gold. So, that one's not as easy to do. I'm sorry. And then Cleo is still for a moment and looking down and scratching the back of Waddle's neck.
honestly, that is amazing that there is even a chance. So, we certainly do not have the gold pieces or the skill level quite yet for that, but you have given me and Remy something that more valuable than food, and you've given us hope. So, and then she walks across the room into Tipsy's personal bubble with she walks across the room looking down at Waddles and slowing her petting, and then she gets up right in front of Tipsy and then looks up, kind of eyes cast down a little bit, and then she connects. Thank you, Tipsy. And then she opens up her arms and then gives him a hug. And it's a good embrace. And then Tipsy, like a middle schooler at a dance, cranes his neck backwards to look at the boys going, "Oh my God." And then Toot Toot is kind of like waving his hand. Enjoy it. Enjoy it, you gnome. And then Tipsy, like, full on blush, just, you hear Toot Toot, hug her back. No, not her back, just reciprocate the hug. Oh, okay. Yep, you're welcome. And then Tipsy kind of breaks the hug. Hey, you're welcome. So I just wanted to do that. So I'm the good guys, please. So that's great. Do you need anything else? And then now, like, as soon as the hug broke up, then Cleo's looking down at Waddles and scratching him, and she goes, I remember the first time we met, I talked to this rat, and he told me how good you were, Tipsy, how good your heart is, how he was living in a shack. It was abandoned, there was no food, and then you came in, and you gave him food. And then you have adopted him, and then he says that you went to every effort to make sure that he was safe and taken care of and warm. And then she kind of traces the outline of the scarf with her finger. And well fed. And then she kind of pokes Waddles, and then Waddles well fed. And you have saved his life. So you are saving our lives now. She looks up and makes eye contact. Thank you. It is very late. We again do not have much, but we could offer you dinner again, as long as the conversation does not fall into you having sold even more silver, or having more silver armor. Tipsy, is your blood silver? Is my blood silver? That was an attempt at a joke. And then Toot Toot from behind. Oh, ha 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 ha! And then he elbows Rock. Oh, yes, quite humorous.
What?
Says Onyx. Everyone's favorite. So then Tipsy. Oh, no, I have regular blood. What are you talking about? And then she looks over at Remy. So, is this yes for dinner? I would love to have dinner, boys.
Yes, I think we would be happy to join you if you don't mind.
Not at all. A lot of food. So thank you. So, Remy.
And then she goes to help Remy in one of the dark rooms, and then Tipsy's like, "Do you need help?" And then she goes,
You sit down.
"Thank you." And then she takes Waddles into the back room, and then you just hear just 3 different voices squeaking. Rats speak, squeak. So they squeak in the back room, and they bring out like tiny wooden bowls, and there's only a few of them. So each of my boys gets one, but then she shares one with Remy, and then Tipsy goes,
You need plates. Okay, noted.
And then as they sit on the ground, kind of cross-legged on this cold stone floor, but enjoying a nice, warm, very hearty, very flavorful meal together. As they're eating, then Rock goes,
This is quite delicious. Thank you very much, Tipsy. Thank you very much, Tipsy. And then, thank you for the hospitality, Cleo and Remy. Should we wake Algernon? He will eat. He will eat when he wakes up. He needs his rest more than anything right now. But thank you. He will be very happy to hear that you came, Tipsy. He likes you. When you all leave, then I might wake him up for Waddles, because he really likes Waddles too. But yes, you are welcome, Rock. Yes, so I read in some more books. I have a lot of books that, if you don't mind, some very interesting facts about halflings. And there is recognition in the room that we are talking about the people halflings instead of the monster wererats. So halflings, they cherish the bonds of family and friendship, as well as the comforts of hearth and home. This is not quite a homely place. And then Tipsy, recognizing the hint, goes, Yes. Do you need anything else? Like food? Check. But plates. I will write down plates. Plates.
and then Cleo, with kind of a mouthful of chicken and dumpling, goes,
I would really like a comb for my hair and a nice bath, because
and with Cleo, she has always had this like front up of strength, of necessary, been through a whole bunch of shit, sure she needs to defend herself, and with these simple, like, luxurious pleasures, then you can see that facade kind of fallen. You can really see the youth on Cleo's form with that, and it's almost like a girlish request.
As you can tell, we are here, and the closest source of water.
Then she gestures back behind her to the scar in the wall, where beyond you can hear the whoosh of the sludge of the sewers.
That is not the best water to bathe in, but that is what we have had.
And then Tipsy,
Hold on one second.
then he turns around.
Gentlemen, I was going to save this discussion for later, but so on the second floor of the Trollskull Manor, there is an empty bedroom right next to mine, and it's very big and no one's in it yet, and I just want to throw out there that, like, we could keep it open for guests and stuff, but I think it'd be really awesome if these lovely people were not sleeping in the sewers for maybe just for a couple nights, but I just wanted to throw that out there and then see what you all thought.
And then Toot Toot. Tipsy, you are amazing. I will do you one better. So I vote yes, and we can try a couple nights, and then if we want, well, Tipsy, we'll see how it goes. How about that?
Yeah, I think literally a night outside of this wretched.
And then he like jerks his head over to Cleo, of just making sure that she didn't hear his very judgmental sentence, and both her and Remy are eating out of the bowl.
Okay, this place sucks. So yeah, literally any night out of this, I think would do them well. So, yes, thank you, Rock. Yes, we are in the business of helping people, and the woman has asked for a comb and a bath, a bathing situation. So I vote yes. Okay.
And then three sets of eyes turned to Onyx.
This is really good.
He's just eating out of his bowl.
Is this from the Heroes Feast? Oh, what?
Onyx, is it okay if the wererats stay over for a night or two, or more than that?
Oh, well, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay, amazing.
And so then Tipsy turns around.
So you three, you two, I guess. If you want, I know this place is your home, but it kind of sucks. So do you want to spend the night over at our place?
And there's some silence. Cleo kind of swallows her mouthful.
Go over to your place? Yeah, we have an extra room, so like it's big. It's kind of the size of this room, I guess. But we can get you a comb. It's kind of late though, so the comb might be tomorrow. But we have.
And then Toot Toot kind of straightens up. I would be honored if you were to use my private bathroom for the evening, Miss Cleo. And then he bows his head. And then Onyx, who like upturned his wooden bowl, is like kind of licking the inside of it.
Oh, I have a private bath also. If I guess if Cleo's using Onyx's. Remy, if you want, Remy, you can use my bathroom.
And then he likes just keep licking the bowl.
Tipsy, this generosity is astounding. I feel like we need to talk to Papa, and then we will let you know. Oh yeah, no, you take your time, you figure it out, you spend as many days as you want, and it's really lovely actually. You just hang up some curtains. It's very cold and damp, but a candle or two. I'll get plates and candles. That'll be the next trip. So.
And then Cleo kind of like is nodding to wait for Tipsy to finish.
Yep, maybe like a couple pillows and stuff. Do you have blankets? I forgot if you had blankets or not. You have hay, and Algernon is sleeping on the hay. Hay, you have hay. So, but that is very generous of you. Thank you. You're quite welcome. So, just wanted to let you know that.
And then Rock kind of pitches in.
Another section of the book that I read. Halflings are easily moved to pity and hate to see any living thing suffer. They are generous, happily sharing what they have even in lean times. So, this is merely repaying the favor. We, as well, hate to see living things suffer.
And then that's a very poignant phrase hanging in the air.
Yes, well, thank you. The food, as it was last time, is very, very yummy. So, did you mean starting tonight or for later nights? It's whenever. Hey, it's whatever you want. That room is empty until you want it, or but there's no pressure. Like, don't even worry about it if you want. Yeah, I mean, again, pillows and candles. Then this place is like a 5-star hotel. It is not like a 5-star hotel. I know, but I'm just.
What are you gonna do?
Okay. Well.
And now, Cleo will roll to see if she waits until Algernon, if they should wake Algernon up or let Algernon keep sleeping. Let's see. Let's roll this nice fat skull d20. Evens. Yes, she wakes Algernon up. Odds no, and lets him sleep. That is a 2, so even. So she looks, and then she kind of runs her fingers through her greasy, stringy black hair that's just dirty and clumped, and there's a rat's nest in it. So she's absent-mindedly running her fingers through her hair, which is really cool to see Cleo as such a tactile being, because in the first 2 times we've been in this were-rat room, then she's always petting her father's back and rubbing it, and then scritching on Waddles. So it's really cool to see Cleo develop into this tactile being. So she's absentmindedly running her fingers through her hair and kind of gets to a point where a couple of the hairs are dirty together and tangled, and then she goes, I will wake up, Papa. And so then she goes over. Waddles, are you with them, or have you scrolled back? Let's roll for that as well. So yes, then he's even yes, still with the wererats. No, with my boys. That is a 6. So even then, is it a 6? Yeah, that looks like a 6, huh? Oh, for this one you actually can't tell, because normally it's a 6 and then a period right after it, or a 9 with a period. But both of these have skulls on them. Oh, okay, yeah, no, that one's totally, because the 9 has a period, but because it was little tiny skulls. But yes, with a 6, then when Waddles was in Cleo's lap. Yep. And so then she kind of scoots out from underneath Waddles and then puts the bowl down, and then Waddles climbs into the bowl, and it goes whoom, 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 and then he's just licking the inside of the bowl. Yoshi sound. So he's going around the bowl, and we have Chihuahuas, so them in bowls just lick the side of it. It's choice cuteness, y'all. So then she kind of crawls on her hands and knees over to Algernon, who's sleeping, and then she shakes him a little bit, and then when he's not immediately responding, then she shakes him a bit more, and then Remy also on his hands and knees crawls over and is rubbing his back, papa, and then stirring. And I've been doing the noises. I want to say that like it's just mumbling, like low register frequency. So unless Tipsy is like right next to him, then I'm gonna say that this whole time he has not been eavesdropping on the squeak. So, but Algernon wakes up and then like Remy and Cleo and Algernon are talking on the other side of the room. Literally in my head, I thought, then Algernon stretches and yawns. And then I couldn't even wait until I said it before I yawned. So then, like, Algernon stretches out in the hay. More talking. And then he lifts up his head and looks blindly. You can see these snow-blind pink eyes blinking the morning gunk out, but also blinking towards that end of the room. And like he smiles, just thinking about what's over there, like towards Tipsy and the boys. And as he smiles, you can see broken and rotted teeth on the inside. And Algernon has shock white hair, but then also a beard, but no mustache. And you can tell the age in him versus the youth in Cleo. And they talk for a little bit more, and then Tipsy's kind of getting squirrely and like just like scratching. Like it's one of those games where like he's just scratching and he can't stay still, so he's literally just fidgeting. Oh, rats making me yawn. I love it. So Tipsy like is getting visibly like anxious, and then Toot Toot reaches out a hand and puts it on Tipsy's like shoulder. Hey, it's okay. They're talking about it, and for the most part, the longer the conversation, the better the result. I mean, actually, when I said that out loud, that's not necessarily the case, but hey, this is a good sign. Okay, I'm just checking in on the chat. At 8 o'clock, Tipsy #1 fan _ says, OMG, they should live in the manor. And then like 6 exclamation points. Love it. The 4 exclamation points. And then Dodie or something says, OMG, what I always wanted for them. So they're talking it out right now. And then let's roll for it, folks. I have a number in my head. And then here we go. That is a natural 1. Literally the number that I thought was a 4 or better. So, then Cleo nods a couple times as Algernon finishes. And then she turns around to the boys, and then Remy gets up and goes into the dark room to. He takes the bowl out from underneath Waddles and kind of scoops and pours them on the ground, and then Waddles is like licking his paws of the chicken and dumpling batter, and it's like just preening himself. Is that the right word? Preening? He's just like licking his like arms and doing the cleaning up his face and stuff. So then Remy gets up and prepares a bowl for their father, and then Cleo goes, he says that it is very generous of you, but it is way too much. You have already given us a lot of food. That the knowledge of the remove curse is tremendous, and we will work towards getting it, but that is far too much. That is far too generous. And you can see her sadly playing with the ends of her hair and kind of twisting them a little bit. that she wasn't happy with that result either. Well, she wasn't happy, but bing, an asterisk, and then Rock's voice comes up. Hello. So, halflings, they typically don't recognize any sort of halfling nobility or royalty, instead looking to family elders to guide them. From the Player's Handbook, page 27. That's what I've been reading from. So, bing, and then back into the scene. But he thanks you. That is very, very. And then Tipsy sitting down, going, you know what? Hold on. And so then he stands up and then walks across the room to this now like childish Cleo, kind of sitting with her, like sitting on her legs, but they're kind of tucked underneath her. And then he goes up to Algernon. And then squeaking, then he goes, Algernon.
Oh, hello?
Hi. Hey, Algernon, it's me, Tipsy.
Oh, hello. It is very good to meet you.
Oh, hey. It's great to meet you. Your daughter... hello, sir. Your daughter and your son are absolutely amazing. They have gone through great lengths to protect you and to keep you and your family safe. And, oh, you meant Waddles, right?
Waddles, I like him very much.
Yeah. He's great. Waddles, come over here. Yeah, what's up, guys? Waddles, help me out. Oh, man, I got you. So, we are offering to accept you, even just for a short little while, into our home, to reciprocate the generosity that you and your family, you have accepted us into your home. So I personally would like to return the favor.
It is a very good point. I did not think of it like that. But it is far too generous. You are helping the food. The food is amazing, Tipsy.
Yeah, I know, right? And there's whole buildings full of full of good food. So I wanna help y'all with more food. And I said plates and candles earlier. You were sleeping, I think. So I really would like to help you, please, sir.
And then with that, Tipsy will roll. Is there any Toot wants to do his last bardic inspiration. So, I read somewhere years and years ago that elephants can speak in such a low frequency that it travels for 3 or 4 or 5 goddamn miles of just this low rumble. I don't remember where, but it might have been on the internet. So with that, then you could just feel it. And it is Toot Toot saying, "You can do this, rogue Tipsy. You can do this, rogue..." No, hold on. It needs to be Toot Toot's voice. "You can do this, rogue Tipsy. You can do this, rogue Tipsy." Which happens to be from the silliest song of all time, which is R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. And there's a verse out of the 43 minutes that is, "You can do it, Pimp Lucius," which is one of the funniest things I've ever encountered in my life. And it was my alarm clock at some point in my in my collegiate career. And it's great. R. Kelly does some very bad stuff, but the song is just so funny. So with this rumble, this eternal, it shakes your gut, this tremble, this quake, then not knowing why, then Tipsy gets a bardic inspiration, so he can roll a d6 on top of whatever he's going to roll right now. Let's see, that's Toot Toot's reaction. Can Onyx or Rock do anything? Not really. So, you can do this, rogue Tipsy. So, chat says 813 Dodie or something. No, not a natural one. I know, Victor felt the same way. At 819, Tipsy number 1 fan says, I'm so mad you were able to incorporate You Can Do It, Pimplucious. I know, right? 819, Dodie says, ha ha ha. So, then, Tipsy will roll. Persuasion is 0 for charisma, but his animal handling is 8, and it worked very well with Remy last time. So let me get that Bardic Inspiration 6 out. That is a 4. Which was higher, and it was on the D6. The D20 rolled a 2. So, narrative is making it so. Algernon goes,
I really appreciate your care for me and Cleo and Remy, but you have done too much already.
and then he reaches up a paw blindly, and Tipsy accepts it on his face, and then Algernon is kind of using the pads of his paws to feel around Tipsy's face and get a mental image.
Handsome gnome. You have a good heart. But we cannot accept this enormous kindness.
Then Remy comes out of the back room with a wooden bowl full of the chicken and dumplings, and then hands it over to Algernon, who sniffs it very enthusiastically, then reaches blindly for it. Remy puts it in his hands, and then he...
Oh, this is very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then Tipsy stands up dejectedly and is walking back over to the group. He walks past Cleo and looks down, and then she looks up with like apologetic eyes. And then Tipsy, without really knowing why or knowing better, then he just shoots finger guns at Cleo, and that makes her smile just a little bit. And then he walks over
No.
to the boys.
Maybe not yet. Maybe later, but hey, the food was good. Yay, thumbs up. So yeah. Okay.
And then Tipsy kind of sits back down, and then there's a very thankful and grateful munching noises on the other side of the room. And it's not like the standoffish energy in the room, but it's a full tummy's satisfaction thank you very much, but not right now. Feel about it, and it's comforting. Tipsy is comforted knowing that he has made a huge difference in their lives, that he's fed them, that he's given them knowledge about potential cures, one a lot more achievable than the other, but in this dark basement, then it's lit up with internal hope. So that's lovely. And then after Algernon finishes, and then everyone was waiting for Algernon to finish his meal, then he kind of sits upright and then waddles this whole time. As Tipsy crossed the room, then Waddles has just been sitting and staring up at Algernon. And then, then we're going to go into a conversation of just them two.
Algernon?
Oh, Waddles, hello.
Hey. Why?
What, little one?
Why don't you come back to the house? It's a very big house.
Well, you are too young to understand, but when you are very, very old like me, you count your blessings. I have one blessing in a beautiful, smart, strong daughter. I have another blessing in a strong, stubborn son. I have a blessing in Tipsy. He is giving us food. I have the blessing of food. Delicious. Full stomach. Since meeting you, I have full stomach for first time in years. I have blessing of rat companionship. Of you, handsome boy.
And then he, his giant paw lowers and then scritches at Waddles.
But when things get too good, that is when you lose blessings. I had one of the best blessings. The love of a kind, caring, gentle, funny woman who cared for me so much. She put her whole life in me, and I lost my blessing by messing it up. I went out when she told me not to, and I came home a different person. And for years she tried to help me, she tried to cure me. And then when I got two beautiful blessings of a daughter and a son, then my original blessing ran out. I could not accept more blessings when I have my two best blessings right here. If I have the blessing of warmth and of cleanliness, of more food in my tummy and luxuries and materials and things I don't need, then I may lose my two best blessings. So, little one, no.
And then Waddles. Victor, you really want to make this happen, huh? Yeah, I do. Narrative, I appreciate you so much. But a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Yep, I will defy narrative right now. It's dangerous.
but I'll do it. It's really dangerous because for my rat stats, my rat stat block for Tipsy, even though he has a bunch of HP, his charisma is 4, which is a -3 modifier. And I was playing around with giving Waddles and some other of my characters additional character traits or features because I love making D&D content and like stories and stuff. So I will roll a d20 and then -3 for his charisma, and then we'll see how Waddles responds. Okay, that's a 10 -3, 7. So Waddles goes, but come on. And then Algernon responds with,
Maybe, but right now I need to hold on to my 2 blessings.
and then Waddles,
I understand. I have a blessing too, and his name is Bottle Opener. So,
and then Waddles looks back over to Tipsy, who's just sitting there patiently watching this exchange. And then Waddles goes,
but Will, you should think about it. He's a good one. They're all really good. So, if you want to treat your blessings the best, give them what you don't have.
and then Waddles kind of falls forward onto his 2 front paws, and then scampers over to Tipsy, and then curls up in his lap, and then with that, then Cleo, maybe overhearing, then she stands up, and then everyone else kind of gets to their feet. And then Cleo goes,
thank you very much for, again, the food and the knowing that Papa can be saved. That is more than I could ask for in a lifetime. So thank you.
and then she walks towards the bottom of the stairs, then gestures up, and then Toot Toot walks first, and then bows graciously to Cleo, and then she smiles up at him, and he walks up, and then Rock does a short court, like what's just a prim like bow to Cleo, and then she kind of laughs and then gestures him upstairs. And Remy this whole time is kind of standing behind her with his arms crossed, and then Onyx kind of makes eye contact with Remy and then with Cleo, and then just goes up the stairs. And then as Tipsy, who scooped Waddles up and puts him in his pocket, then he's walking by, and then Cleo stops him with a gentle hand to the chest, and she goes,
but really, thank you.
and then she gives him a peck on the cheek, and then Tipsy floats up the stairs. And that is a lovely were-rat scene. I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, and then we will resume the episode afterwards. So, let's do a commercial reel. Nope. New theatrical. Nope. Do mocap, because I did mocap yesterday. So, here we go. I'll be right back.
Great. Just so you guys know, there's no group sex. Okay, fine, group sex.
Whoa. Question! Did you melt all the weapons?
Yeah, that's how we made these cool little peace thingies.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, Civil War general, you must know how to fight?
Sure. Poverty, sexism, social injustice.
Now, from where I stand, there's only one thing we can do.
Group sex. Right? No. We'll fight then.
You'll be the first to die, but I like your enthusiasm.
You might die.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
I am looking for,
Brian, he's not here today. Sorry, we can't give that out. You could leave him a note. I think he works again next week.
Now,
We can't stay here. Why not? It isn't safe.
You're overreacting.
Not this time.
Are you scared? Well, at least we are here together.
Does anybody know we're here?
Did you hear something?
Page 123 of Hero's Feast, Chicken Something Dumplings. Chicken Something Dumplings. Onyx, would you care to read it?
Yeah, that was really good. All right. Wouldn't you like to know the secret halfling ingredient? Holy shit, y'all. That makes these magically delicious dough dollops melt in your mouth? Well, now you will. From the famed hungry halfling in Faerun's Cormorp to nearly every halfling supper time table across the land, this hearty, velvety concoction laden with homemade drop dumplings is the coziest of comfort foods. There are countless variants of this dish, with each halfling household claiming to serve the finest, but nothing beats the thick and stewy classic, a robust poultry stock-based, so many words, emboldened with the tastes of freshly picked veggies, parsley, and garlic, all commingled with creamy dough. The food served there is as hearty as popular lore credits halflings for. The chicken dumplings are superb, says Ed Greenwood, Volo's Guide to the Sword Coast.
That's right. Friend of the show, Edward Greenwood, is quoted in this book. Look how good chicken something dumplings look. Damn, y'all. Also, my new roommate loves to cook. So guess who's gonna, go, hey, look what new book I just got. And then, all right, let's flip to one more page and then I'll move on. Ew, veggie stuff, no. Okay, there's a lot of great stuff. Anyways. Oh, that paired with the D&Measter drink guide? Y'all. Anyway. Welcome back. 8:30, Dodie or something says, but he's talking to another rat, which gives him more stuff. I know, I was thinking about it. Waddles, yeah. I wanted to give him a two-named ability called Sweet or Scare or something, where I thought about it, but yeah. Yeah, that was a 9. So narrative is like Victor.
Yes.
So, full stomach and full heart, then my boys go back to the Troll Skull Manor. And even though it is now heading on towards spring, but it is nighttime outside, and it still has that little lingering, really cold winter night time. So it is cold, and it's a nice quiet walk northward. And Tipsy, for the first time in a while, is just like,
Okay, I tried, and that's the most important bit. And I finally got through to him. So,
and then he looks over at Onyx, who's just trudging along and admiring the dwarf who was at odds with him for like half of the day, and then like broke through and saw the goodness that Tipsy was really trying to do. So he feels really good, and it's a fulfilled walk to the north. And they as their final like 200 feet, then Tipsy goes,
Thank you guys very much. That meant a lot to me. We'll get those wererats in the Trollskull Manor eventually. But for now, thank you sincerely. That meant a lot.
"You're quite welcome."
Really, it was our pleasure.
Yeah, you're fun.
Now, as we're heading towards our domicile, gentlemen,
He looks over at Toot Toot and Rock.
did you hide your key yet?
Can we say, or is that cheating? And then Rock goes,
You know what? Yes, we did hide it, and I feel that we hid it very well, so good luck, Tipsy Bottle Opener. Oh yeah? I like it. I like the gumption there, kid.
even Jess odds no. Tipsy's like,
Well, I didn't, because I was busy reading a damn book. But I will try and find your stupid hidden key. So here we go.
and then he goes up, and it's very dark outside because it's nighttime. But there are like continual flame lampposts being lit along the streets. And so then Tipsy goes up, and then let's roll for, I will not use the like, oh, I forgot to add the, well, I mean, so he rolled a 2. Wait, I didn't add everything up. I mean, so, okay, now I'm thinking back up at Tipsy's roll with Algernon. So 2 plus 4, that's 6, plus 8, that's 14. Okay. Still, like a 2 on a d20, that I felt discouraged. So I was like, okay. So I will not use the,
Oh, he uses animal handling to try and find the key.
this rogue, however. And I'm not going to use the +8 perception because this is truly investigating. He will go up to the front door, and then he will investigate to try and find the key that Rock and Toot Toot hid, because when they first got it, they had 2 spare when they first got the Trollskull Manor, they got 2 spare keys. And then Tipsy said he would hide one, which he doesn't. And that Rock and Toot Toot would hide the other. And then at one point in time, then they'll try and find each other's keys. So with this, Tipsy will roll an investigation to try and find Toot Toot and Onyx's key. Nope, Toot Toot and Rock's key. 11 plus 2, 13. So after like 5 minutes that grow into like a, come on, 10, then Tipsy goes,
All right, let's see. Fucking under the doormat? No, that would have been too easy. On top of the little door frame? No. Let's check the windowsills. Nope. Under the banister? No. Under the stairs?
and then he goes and like,
Well, fucking hell. Okay. Is it on this half of the manor?
yes, it is.
God damn it. Okay. Let's look at this window. No. You know what? It's late. I'm getting tired. This was fun. Let's go inside. Oh, I have a key. That is my own key in my pocket.
So then he goes and opens up the door. And then Leaf, I forgot about Leaf. No, I didn't forget, but like then Leaf greets them. This half-elf ghost that they have at the Trollskull Manor swoops forward, materializes out of the darkness inside at the door. And then he signs hello, and then Tipsy goes,
Hey, Leaf.
and then signs the Leaf hand signal back at him, and then Leaf goes, and then does the Tipsy hand signal back at him, and then greets everyone with the of Onyx's namesake, and then Rock, and then Toot Toot, and then they all say, hello, Leaf, and then walk in. And then even though it's dark, then you can see on the walls are like 75% done sketches of the outside. And then Tipsy says,
Wow, y'all, Leaf, you did a really great job. You've been doodling all day, huh?
huh?
Ah, that's cool. That's great. Cool.
And then Tipsy goes in the middle of the tap room. Ooh, I have the Trollskull Manor map. In the middle of the tap room. And then where's my D&Me arrow? There it is. Okay. So, in the middle of the tap room is this giant fireplace. So then Tipsy walks up to it and he starts a fire. I'm not going to roll for that. He has a +2 survival. He can do it. So he starts a fire and then kind of pulls up one of the chairs.
Gentlemen, would you care to join me in front of the fire?
And then they graciously do. And it's just a nice fire. And you can hear it. Fire crackling in the fireplace, and then you see the 4 boys sitting in these mismatched chairs in an empty tap room that they have, and then Leaf sitting equidistant, like floating in the air, but sitting in the middle of the air.
Thank you guys. That was really nice.
You are very welcome, says Toot Toot. And Tipsy, they're all staring into the fire for like 20 minutes, and it's just nice. And it's adding warmth to the tap room, but they feel, again, full of heart and mind and tummy. And Tipsy then kind of slings his backpack from his back and rummages around it a little bit, and then he holds up a piece of parchment. And the other 3 boys look over, and they can see a portrait, a drawing of Tipsy on the front, and the words, wanted. Then Toot Toot asks, Tipsy, what is that again?
It's a pretty bad drawing of me, but this is for, let's see, larceny, debauchery, theft, pillaging, fraud, gross indecency, stole salted meats, 500 gold pieces. Y'all, do you think I'm worth 500 gold pieces?
I think you are worth all the, maybe 200. And then they all laugh. Is that for real? What did you say back in the sewers? Nah, they're in the sewers now. Nope, they're in the Trollskull Manor instead of the sewers.
So it wasn't me. This was not me. I mean, maybe the theft a little bit, if you know what I mean. And, I can't say no to salted meats. But no, this was a kid back when I was, back where I was from, and then this guy impersonated me. I have his Tipsy costume in my bag if I ever wanted to disguise myself as Tipsy. I didn't totally think that one all the way through, but, you know, I love stuff, so. But, you know what? I don't need this anymore. Kind of, I guess I held on to it for, like, sentimental purposes of, like, hey, Tipsy, you know, a rogue, and they're not good guys, but I did some really good stuff today. Yeah. So, here's symbology.
And then he gently puts it in the fire, and then you can see the edges curl up and then blacken, and then in the middle of Tipsy's face, then this one column of fire comes out.
Yeah. I didn't need that. Y'all, I am fucking exhausted. I have like half my health. I have 2 spell slots. Rock, you have no spell slots, right?
I am very tired.
Yeah, Onyx, you don't have Armor of Agathis. You don't have your rages.
Toot Toot, how many you got?
I have 1 level 1 and 2 level 2 left. I gave you my last bit of bardic inspiration there.
Whoa, that's what that was, huh? I felt it in my, toes and stuff. Speaking of which, did you know, for toes...
Then Tipsy says toes facts to a growingly disinterested Toot Toot and a growingly interested Rock.
Tell me more. That's all I got. I have 13 hours of reading left on my book.
He looks up at Rock, who smiles big.
What's everyone's plans for, tomorrow? Because I'm going to read the book. Okay, well, also, as I burn that thing, should I, talk to a city guardsman about dropping those charges? Because technically, I'm fine. Well, back in my place, I might have been a wanted man. I don't think we resolved that. But, you know what? I think we're in a different place. I think it's fine. My past won't catch up with me.
Then Rock goes,
I don't know about that. I will read again in Volo's Enchiridion to see the specific laws of the city, but good luck. I just want to read, and then, I will sealant some more.
And then Leaf actually, waves a little bit, reading Rock's lips, and then he signs, if you could actually help me seal some of the walls, I will tell you specifically where, but after you finish the floors, then I have great plans for the taproom walls.
Oh, I would love to. Yes, sealant. It's actually very meditative and calming, so I really appreciate it. So, yes, Leaf, I would love to help you.
And then Toot Toot says, I don't know. I don't have a lot going on, so I will tag along with you all, but I think I need to find my own adventure here in a little bit. So I will see what that means for me. And then he stares into the fire. And Onyx is snoring. And then Leaf waves again, catching Rock's attention.
Yes, Leaf, how can I help you?
Could you please get me more chalk?
Oh, I would be delighted. Of course, any excuse to see Paige is a good excuse. So yes, I would love to get you some more chalk. How much?
A lot.
Okay, I will get a lot of chalk for you. It will, and then he looks over at Toot Toot. It will take me a long time to get a lot of chalk, wouldn't it?
I believe it will. So,
yes, you take as much time as you need over at that. Very smart and kind and careful and engaging. And then with every descriptor, every adjective, then Rock's heliotrope face grows a bit more purple.
I've heard plenty of stories. If you would ever like me to recall some for you, it seems though that you're doing just very fine yourself, Hitch.
Yeah, a nod to Will Smith in the Kevin James movie. But no, Rock is doing very well just being himself. Bink. Pay attention, y'all. Victor, future Victor. And then here at the end, then after another just staring into the fire, and it's a nice warm fire, and it's this really cool effect that the shadows grow long, and on the floor of the Troll Skull Manor, which is this beautiful chalk artwork mural of ponds and grass and rocks and fish and stuff that Leaf did for Fayday, that they did seal with resin or whatever it was. Then Tipsy goes,
Hey, what the fuck do we call ourselves? Huh? This is a good time. We've got a lot of time.
Oh, yes. We need to figure that out, huh?
Yeah, we need to figure out a name for the group and then a name for this place.
And then he shouts into the empty tap room.
the Troll Skull Manor and Tavern. So, someone wake Onyx up.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, well, neither am I.
And then both heads turn to Rock.
Ooh, I have been outvoted. Okay.
So then he takes out his measuring quarterstaff and then cracks it together.
And then he will...
Okay, can he do something else? Oh, he has no spells. That I can tell you. He has improved minor illusion. He has breast digitation. That's a Freudian slip. Ray of Frost, Mage Hand. No, he'll use his measuring quarterstaff because that's fun. Or unless he has something fun in his inventory. Prestidigitation. I will not be making that spell for my D&Me supplement. Let's see. Do you have anything fun?
Not really.
What's a lodestone? What's a lodestone? Is that just a stone? I think I looked this up before, but I don't remember.
Lodestone.
It's just it's kind of just a big old magnetized stone, huh? Oh, it's magnetized. That's the whole point of it. And you need 2 of those for mending. So that's interesting. You have anything fun? Not really. So, yeah, with his measuring quarterstaff, then he goes, and then pokes Onyx in the gut. That's a dexterity, huh? Yeah. Dexterity plus 2. 16! Okay, so I just wanted to make sure that the skull die wasn't rolling very badly just in general. Nope, that's a 16 plus 2, an 18, and then thump into Onyx, and then, what?
Onyx, we are going to discuss names for our group and for the place.
Okay. We should call us the good guys.
No, we already said no to the good guys, the nice guys, the other guys, but really, really good thinking.
We should call this place Onyx's Location.
Because that was his contribution earlier, because he learned how to sign O and L, which is Onyx and then left. Those are very good suggestions. Let us hear from everyone else. And then
Tipsy goes, I have one for the place.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Because it's kind of built in the name, how about Tipsy's Tavern? How about Tipsy's Tavern?
I mean, that is a good name.
It actually is pretty... It's a pretty good name, yes. Tipsy's Tavern, I'm just saying. TT toot toot. So we can get it on like coasters and stuff printed. I'm just saying it's really
good. Let's hear all the other. I have a good one for the name of the place.
All right, go ahead, Elephant Man.
Inebriation Inspiration.
Yeah, hey, that's kind of a mouthful. I mean, it's cool because it does the alliteration thing that you like, but inebriation inspiration. Can we, like, name that a drink? Like, one of the specialties of Tipsy's Tavern?
That is actually a pretty good name for a drink, but Tipsy's Tavern. And then, as a treat for my viewers right now, so Sarah and Mom and Dodie. Nope, Sarah and Mom and Poppy, because I saw Dodie or something. If you all have any suggestions, I'm gonna take this time to figure out a name for the group. So I'll be like workshopping out loud between my boys. But if you all have any suggestions, then yeah, episode 29. They need a ding-dang name for stuff. So, Inebriation Inspiration is Toot Toots for the tavern. Tipsy's Tavern, Onyx's Location. So, Tipsy number 1 fan says, okay, so then Toot Toot goes, how about Toot Toot's Tavern?
I mean, it's kind of great that I'm tipsy, and that's what you do when you drink a lot. So that's kind of like, it's kind of like Full Belly Restaurant or something, you know? Instead of like Toot Toot's Restaurant.
Well, Toot Toot's Restaurant's a good name.
Is it?
And then Onyx chimes up.
Okay, how about we call ourselves the Bone Boys?
Is that a good name? Because, like, I know you love your bones and hides and trophies, but is that what we represent as a group?
Yeah.
Perhaps. We could be the Brave Boys.
That's pretty good, because we're brave.
Yeah. Let's see. What else we got? How about Drinkies and Dungeons? Wait, nope. Tipsy fucked it up. How about, also, speaking of fucked up, let's...
And then he pulls out a bottle of random alcohol. And then Leaf goes to float over to the bar to grab glasses, and then Tipsy goes,
No, Leaf, you sit your ghostly ass back down. We're gonna drink straight from the bottle. Wait, what's the... champagne, drinking straight... Fuck!
I need to do this. Okay. In the Heights, straight from the bottle. Because Tipsy's not a bad singer, but that was Victor singing badly. Okay.
I owe you a bottle of cold champagne. No. Yeah, cold champagne. Damn, the bottle's all sweaty and everything. I don't know if we have coffee cups or plastic cups. I think Sonny has the cups. Tonight we're drinking straight from the bottle.
That's Tipsy not singing very good. Oh man, my voice is going because I've been doing a lot of Tipsy tonight. This was a Tipsy heavy episode, which is great. Because he was sitting upstairs reading a dumb book forever. So... that is the Foley artist. That's the Foley art of them drinking. So, oh, that was bad. Okay. So, Poppy, I want your contributions also. So Tipsy pulls out a random bottle and he goes, "How about Drinkies and Dragons?"
That's pretty cute. Let me write that down. Drinkies and Dragons. Because we like, well, you all like to drink. I have an occasional glass of something, but you and Onyx like to drink. Yeah, I do.
So, for my bottle of random alcohol, which is now 7, future Victor, write that down. From the Skewered Dragon, I roll a D10 to see how full the bottle is, and then a D20 to see how good it is. So, excuse me. Bop. A 7, how full it is. So yeah, pretty good bottle, more than halfway full. About 3/4. And then how good it is. A 14. Okay, so, it's... Let's just do like a Chardonnay. Which one's the red one? Cabernet or Chardonnay? A Chardonnay is a white. A Cabernet is a red, right? Ooh. A Cabernet, yeah. So he pulls out like a pretty good Cabernet. And he goes, "Okay, Rock, I know you like drinking wine." "I do, actually. Pass that bad boy over." "Okay, here you go." So Tipsy takes a swig and then passes it to Onyx, who takes a swig, and then passes it to Rock, who takes a swig, and then passes it to Toot Toot, and he goes, "You know what? Yes, I will drink heavily tonight." So he wraps his trunk around it and then kind of, because I don't utilize Toot Toot's trunk a whole lot because I kind of forget that it's a thing. I don't think about having a big old trunk on my face as I act as Toot Toot. And then he kind of waves it through Leaf's head, and then Leaf, "Oh, thank you. Oh, that's giving me a head rush. Is that how you do it?"
For a ghost? Yeah, if you can just kind of put it here, and then he gestures, and then just out in front of him, and then Toot Suit holds it out, and then Leaf kind of waves his head over the open bottle, and then he like, yeah, and Toot Toot. Okay, man, guys, we have a ghost. How cool is that?
That's pretty dang cool.
All right, let's see. What other good ideas? Then Rock chimes up. I have one. How about books and brews? So it incorporates my love of books, your two love of drinking, and we don't have something for Toot Toot. It's fine. Like, whatever is the best name wins. That's what we appreciate. How about T-R-O-T, Trot's Tavern. So it's Tipsy Rock, Onyx, Toot Toot, but that doesn't include Leaf. Oh, well, Leaf. I for Leaf, will include Ale Deep, because that was the previous establishment, and it's a damn good name because of course Waterdeep. So that's great. Let's see, Ale Deep. I'll throw that in there. Oh, I didn't put it in my notes. I forgot about that. Ale Deep. Onyx location I will have as 5th place out of 4 choices. Okay, let's see. So Trot's Tavern. Well, how about height order? So Tipsy, Onyx, Rock, and Toot Toot. Tort. Tort. And then Leaf. That'll be Tortle. Oh, is that something? How about calves and caverns, or cabs, like cabernets and caverns? How about LOR's Tavern? Nope, Victor said that wrong. LOTR's Tavern, Lord of the. And then Tipsy goes, okay, I have another one. As he takes another swig of Cabernet. Okay, how about we put the party in adventuring party, or emphasis on party, because we're an adventuring party and we like to party. That's cute. That was judgmental. I'm sorry, I don't really drink a lot, so this is getting to me. Okay, so what do we represent?
Or party boys.
Are we married to boys? Victor says, well, yeah, pretty much. My boys, my good boys, my boys.
Okay, how about Hardy Boys?
That's mysterious. Let's see. Or Boys Howdy. Because I always feel that I hear the term boy howdy in my head a lot. Boy, what do we represent? Okay, we represent good. We represent maybe a little chaos or good hearts. Ooh, hearts. Because ultimately we do want to do good, but some of us are pretty chaotic. Onyx, what else do you have?
Hit 'em ups.
What do we have in common?
I don't know. We should call ourselves Fantastic Four.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. What do I have in common? What do we all have in common? Victor has a Venn diagram that he made when he first was thinking about, like when I was first coming up with D&Me. And they don't have a lot in like the center circle. They have me in common, and they have 3rd level academic advancement. I don't know what that means. 3rd level academic advancement? I don't know what that means. All right, so
Okay, if there's not a single qualifying thing among us, then let's divide us into groups. So we have the 2 tall intellectuals and then the 2 littles. We have we're all trying to find ourselves. So maybe we are identity. As much as I like symbology, that one's a little heavy-handed.
You're right, Rock.
Well, what other suggestions do you have, Rock?
How about, let's see. We all vary in height. We all vary in race and class. How about Orange Adventures?
Why orange?
I don't know. I feel like I'm always surrounded by oranges or something. Let's see. The do-gooders, or a name for the tavern, Tipsy's Tavern. I do like the T's, and that goes along with T. Dungeons and Dragons, D&D. What have we done so far?
And then Tipsy says, well, we've won a whole bunch, so let's be victorious 4.
That's pretty good. Victorious 4.
All right. Here's something. It's a little bit of a stretch, but how about we are victorious?
That's really fucking good.
Yeah, that means we win a lot.
Yes, that does, and it's like a group. It's like combined efforts, and we always win, and we conquer, and we do good, and we are victorious, and that will be like our group name.
That is pretty good. Something with victory. Victorious. We are victorious.
Is that kind of what we're leaning into? Victorious? The victorious group?
I mean, that has my vote so far, so let's put that at the top of the list. Because I was thinking of how sometimes y'all are dinguses, so they could be D&Me, so dinguses and then me. But I mean, that's a little. Or like Victory Boys. If we're really sold on boys, I don't know. I like just victorious. That's pretty good. That's pretty, that's pretty smart.
Okay, so victorious, the victorious group. That's the winner so far. So what was your thing about dinguses?
Yeah, so dinguses, so D and me.
Okay, I just wanted to say it again for the audience because it was a real subtle jab. But the good guys, the good boys, D and me, we put the party and adventuring party, emphasis on party, identity, boys, howdy, Drinkies and Dragons. Drinkies and Dragons is a pretty good name for a tavern.
Yeah, but I'm really, if I could put 2 votes in Tipsy's Tavern, I would.
All right, let's see. Ale Deep. See, the thing about that, Leaf, is that this place was already called Ales Deep. So unless we reopen Ale Deep, Water Deep, Ale Deep, it's very good. It's very good. Maybe we name the ale, the golden ale that we serve, Ale Deep. Is that okay? I don't want to step on your thing. And then Leaf signs, as long as we are opening this tavern back up, I feel like I had my chance, and you are all giving me a second chance, so I defer to you. Thank you very much, Leaf. That's very generous. But I say that we will have a golden ale named Ale Deep. Along with inebriation inspiration, we need like a mixologist or something. We need, we need to fix this place up, but then, what's that? And then Leaf floats quickly over to the bar and then brings over a couple pages, and then he like excitedly thrusts them into Toot's hands. I came up with a list of everyone that we need to talk to in order to make the troll skull legitimate. Oh, wow. Well, this is a lot of the guild, huh? This is a lot of the guilds. Oh, this is going to be so expensive. But as soon as we get it, then we will be flush with gold. So let's see. Just to name a couple, we need to pay a visit. We have to have a visit paid by the Carpenters, Roofers, and Plastiers Guild, the Sellers and Plumbers Guild. Well, okay, so we're just a tavern, right? We are not going to rent out rooms because we don't have that many rooms. If we eventually convince the wererats to come over, then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rooms. And we just have the attic storage, really, as the last little open room. So I vote that we do not do like a hotel situation because the Yawning Portal already has a pretty good situation like that. Do you all agree?
We agree.
Perfect. Yes, because Tipsy spare room, Toot master bedroom, Rock library and study, Onyx bedroom, and then Leaf has the attic bedroom. And then Leaf, like, oh, thank you. Well, he does the thank you sign language gesture. You are quite welcome, Leaf. But you can have that space whenever you need it. No, this is your place, so you get a stay in it. And a say in it. All right, what else? The Launderers Guild. So we don't need that, or the plumber. Well, no, the plumbers, we need to make sure that our water is up to snuff. But we're not going to have, like, launderers so that we have to worry about bed sheets and stuff. The Dung Sweepers Guild.
Tipsy goes, let's call ourselves the Dung Sweepers Guild.
You know what? That's very funny. But no, that'll be confusing because if we have shirts that say the Dung Sweepers Guild and then like we walk around, then people will tell us to like clean up their poop and stuff. So let's not do that, even though that's very, very funny. Yes. The Victorious. That sounds very good. So, that and then the Loyal Order of Street Laborers. Do we need that? I mean, I guess so. It's on the list. Guild of Butchers. So do we want to serve food also?
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas.
And then Onyx stares into the camera and then holds up the Hero's Feast. Bop. So I guess we will use that kitchen and pantry. Leaf, do you like cooking?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you don't have to. Like, although that might be, well, think about it. And then, of course, we absolutely need to speak to the Vintners, Distillers, and Brewers Guild. Also, we need to figure out guilds for ourselves. Huh, boys? I'm thinking the Council of Musicians, Instrument Makers, and Choristeers. Onyx, you might be good for the League of Skinners and Tanners, or the Guild of Butchers.
Yeah, Vinny and Viggy said that they would teach me a whole bunch of stuff, so they're in both of those, so that's good.
Excellent. Rock?
Well, I think I would like to put all of my efforts into Watchful Order of Magics and Protectors, which the three of us, not you, Onyx, but the three of us are already registered in. Yes. Oh, is there like a writer one? Would you like that? Oh, the Scrivener, Scribes, and Clerks Guild? I'm more into the magic than actually writing. I like non-fiction writing. I don't like fiction writing so much. I mean, I appreciate it, but...
And then Tipsy, you might be good for either the Splendid Order of Armorers, Locksmiths, and Finesmiths, because lockpicking and thievery.
Listen, I just burned the wanted poster that said that I was a thief, so I'm clear. Clean slate, baby. Carte blanche.
I don't think that's how you pronounce it. But also, we have the Vintners, Distillers, and Brewers Guild, which I think you are finishing that whole bottle.
Yep, y'all stop passing it around, so it fell to me to finish it. Tipsy. Tipsy's Tavern.
I know. It's very good. Tipsy's Tavern, victorious, a lot of good T words and S's, and good T and S sounds. So, Tipsy's Tavern, victorious. Victorious. That would be a good song, huh? I should write a whole thing where we are victorious. That's very good. That's very good. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Writing some of this down. Victorious. The victorious group. Because that's just clever.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Oh, gentlemen, I thought of something really great. How about Waterdeep Watering Hole?
Ooh, that's pretty good. But if it's what if it's Tipsy's Tavern : Waterdeep's Watering Hole?
Ah, that is a really good subtitle. All right, let's do that. All right, everyone, Waterdeep's Watering Hole. All right, let's put it to a vote. Tipsy, what do you think of the name of our group is Victorious, or parentheses, the Victorious Group, and then the name of Trollskull Manor and Tavern being Tipsy's Tavern, Waterdeep's Watering Hole.
I love it, and I love it. The Victorious is awesome. And then, of course, if I had a dream, then it would be to have a tavern named after me.
And then he pulls out a second bottle. After kind of chucking, then he goes,
if I had a dream, it would be to have a tavern named after me.
And then just chucks the bottle behind him, and it doesn't shatter. It just like a concerning noise, but it doesn't shatter. Well, all right, let's roll for it. Even, yes, it does shatter. Odd, no, it does not shatter. 5, odd. Clunk, 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 clunk. But it's like that heavy clunk of like, oh god, it sounded like it broke. And then Leaf like leans over and stares at Tipsy.
What? You don't sleep. You can clean it up.
And then Tipsy, and then Toot Toot leans forward. We do not abuse our ghost.
I mean, what does he do?
He cleans. Well, okay, that was the whole point. But no, he's an excellent artist. Look around. Look around at how lovely these walls look right now. Tipsy is happening and just happened to be in the greatest tavern in the world, in the greatest tavern in Faerun. Work.
Yeah, okay. What are we talking about? Oh, give me another drink.
So he pulls out another bottle of random alcohol, and they pass it around. Let's see how full it is. 2, just like half a swig each. And then let's see how good it is. A 5. Is this straight up gin?
Well, it was straight up gin before everyone took half a shot. Sorry, Leaf. There was like literally none left. It's okay.
Okay, so we got 2 yeses from Tipsy. Onyx, what do you think of the name of the group and the name of the tavern?
I like Victorious because it sounds like we're always winning, that we're always good at it, that we'll always vanquish and get the monster and the creature, and then I can get its stuff. And then, Tipsy's Tavern, Waterdeep's Watering Hole. It's pretty good. Yeah. Well, I should get like a skull thing to drink out of.
And then Tutu goes, okay, and Rock. What do you think?
Let's see. Victorious. We are victorious. That is always inspirational. That is lifting upward. That is always encouraging. It if anything, it also has incredible street credit because how is that group? Oh, they are victorious. That's built into the name of our track record because we have victoriously rescued Floon, we have victoriously helped the wererats and defeated the piglet and the gazer, and we have a list of accolades. So that's actually really clever. That who are they? Oh, they are victorious. That's exponential feedback. So that's great. And then Tipsy's Tavern. I mean, I think that is just appropriate. If we were to have any of us, except for Onyx, Onyx is oubliette.
Is that a bone?
I don't think so. So yes, I vote 2 yeses as well. Toot, what do you think?
I think Tipsy's Tavern is an excellent name.
I just wanted to make sure that we tried to think of other names and supported other opinions, but yeah, it's a damn good name.
See, I fucking told you all.
And then it just has a nice ring to it.
We are victorious.
Yep. All right. Gentlemen, here and now, winding down the evening of Shay 20, right before a 10-day of Fleet's Wake, Victorious is sitting in Tipsy's Tavern. So that feels good. All right, gentlemen, I am exhausted, so I'm going to bed. I will see you all in the morning. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you all. Y'all are awesome, so thank you. Victorious!
Oh, God, it's night. You can't just... That's good. All right, everyone, we're going to get T-shirts made in the morning, so good night. Sleep well. And don't let the bugbears bite. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a name for the group. We have a name for the tavern. Holy cow, great. Hey, fabulous. Victorious and Tipsy's Tavern. Cool. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this for this monumental 29th episode where we had the naming. I am Victor Rivera, and this is D&MeAdventures, where I play Dungeons & Dragons by myself. I normally stream on Twitch Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This was just a little... every once in a while, I get money, and I have to move this to another day. So thank you for being here. Cool name, says Angelito El Guapo. I totally agree. So thank you for being here. I will upload this video tomorrow, Friday morning. When will that be? March 4th. And then next week's episode will be back on a regular schedule, so that'll be March 9th, Wednesday live. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and a whole bunch of other places, including podcast and all the D and artistry and all that. I need to rewrite the outros to include all the cool shit I do, like D and artistry, and then D and Me like the drink, and then D and recaps, and so much great stuff because we're growing. It's amazing. Where can you find all that? On my link tree. That's linktr.ee/DnMeAdventures. And like gnome, and like, I thought. Nope, none of... literally none of the names have an N in it, so I can't say that. That's fine. And I rolled to see which of my characters gives tonight's outro, and we are back fresh at the top. Is that right? Yep. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tipsy's 1, Onyx is 2, Rock is 3, Toot Toot is 4. 4, Toot Toot. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We are victorious and we own and operate Tipsy's Tavern, Waterdeep's Watering Hole. Fabulous. Thank you very much. Look at all these books. And what a sweet interaction that Tipsy had with the wererats. I'm proud of him. So, thank you very much. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time.